Keep
going.
Alright.
Good morning. What I'd first like to start off with is to have everybody just think a little bit about when you go to the grocery store. When you go up to the cash register and you start going through and everything's getting bagged, how many bags do you use? Do we have any idea? On average, we have a study from reuseit.com that actually said that in 2008 we used approximately 15 bags per family per trip to the store. Not too bad. I don't know about you guys, but my family probably outweighs that by about 20 or 30 bags every trip. So I want you to think about how many bags you use. When you get home, what do you do with them? Do you throw them away? Do we recycle them? Or do we put them in the cupboard and maybe someday I'll use them? In order to use the amount of bags that we have this year, it is approximately 1 million bags per minute. It's a little bit of a jump up from 2008. The problem with plastic bags is, one, when they're made. When they are made, it actually takes a lot of chemicals to make a plastic bag. And those chemicals are harming our earth. It takes approximately 1,000 years for one bag to biodegrade. So not only are we hurting our own earth, we are also hurting the earth that our future generations are going to have to deal with also. It takes approximately 12 billion barrels of oil to make the bags that we need for this year. 12 billion. Oil is going up anyway, that's why our gas prices are going up. So why don't we use a little more plastic so that we have to use more oil for that? Which is then, in turn, creating pollution, in especially the air, in our soil, and causing even more problems for us. So we're thinking, okay, well, let's not use plastic. How about we use paper? Paper's better, right? Not really. Paper is almost equivalent to the pollution and to the use of our materials in order to make also. Last year, in 1999, Whole Foods magazine did a study. It took approximately 14 billion trees to make the amount of bags that we had to use at the grocery for paper bags. Not only are we cutting down our trees, we're also polluting again. Paper bags don't biodegrade either. One of the biggest problems with that is because there is so much landfill that there is not enough air and water getting to the materials to break them down. So it's taking forever for them to break down. So it's causing even more pollution because it's taking so long to break this stuff down. And of course, with the 14 billion trees, there's a lot of pollution being made too. What you do is you take a tree, you chop it up into the little chips. It is then fed in acid to break it down into a liquid. That liquid is then taken, put under high pressure and high heat in order to be made into what we have our paper bags. That's creating air pollution, soil pollution from the acid then leaking out into our earth, and then it goes into our natural cycle and it's creating acid rain, unfortunately. So we have a terrible epidemic with not only plastic but with paper also. It kind of puts a little bit different spin on our recycling though, doesn't it? I know when I started looking at these things, it made me started thinking about recycling a little more. Like I said, paper is very hard to biodegrade, even though you wouldn't think so. We always put it into our compost piles and things like that. But again, that lets the air and lets our water get into it and it'll break it down easier. So there's several ways that we can start cutting back on this. One, we can start cutting back on how many we use. I said we have 15 per family per trip to the store, right? Why don't you start counting when you get up to the cash register? When they start getting to a higher number, let's maybe consolidate some of our groceries into one bag. It'll be a little bit better that way. That'll cut down on how many we're using, and that way you don't take as many home to throw away. One of them that I really like is to use a reusable bag. And I've got a couple of them here. This is, of course, your natural plastic bag, which everybody knows because this is what you get from at the grocery store. This is one that I use as a reusable bag. It's really nice. It's got sturdy handles on it. It can even zip up if you've got it full. You can take this one home. A reusable bag, a lot of times, will be sold at the cash register. Most of the time they're $1 a piece or so. In fact, Ecolife.com took a survey on it, and several more people are using them these days now than they did in the past because we want to be eco-friendly. Something with the reusable bags is not only can you buy them at the cash register, but you can also get them in any department store. One of the things people are kind of looking at now is if you buy a reusable bag, you can buy it at a department store, and it can be somewhat fashion-friendly if you want it to be. You can get a bedazzled one so that you can show off what you're doing when you walk into the store. And that way you can say, hey, look, this is what I'm doing to try and be eco-friendly. And this will be a way to maybe communicate with other people to say, hey, why don't you do the same thing? Or the toughest one, which will make everybody gasp, is not to use a bag at all. I know, when you get up to the cash register, you're going to have this cart full of cans because everybody buys canned goods. Take them out of the cart, go to the cash register, and throw them right back into the cart. Don't use the bag at all. Yeah, guess what? Then you have to take it out to the car. You have to take every single can one by one and put it in the car. Then take it home, put it into the house one can at a time. But it pays off because you're not going to use all those bags. You're not going to be putting so much into the landfill. So it really works out. It's just going to take a little bit more effort, maybe a little more effort. So these are just a couple of different ways that we can maybe cut back on the pollution, maybe start using a reusable bag or something like that. So imagine with me what we can do. Look at what the world used to be. Look at how clean and vibrant it was. And now it's starting to lack that because of all the pollution and because of all the trash that we're putting in. What could we do to make it be what it used to be? Let's start taking a step here or there. And I challenge you to do this. Next time you go to the grocery, next time you go through the cash register, pick up one of those dollar bags and use it. You know, it's really not that big of a deal. Don't go to McDonald's and get your one item off the dollar menu. Why don't we go over and buy one of the bags from the cash register, or go to your convenience store and buy one? Count your bags, like I said. Use a few less bags that way. Maybe we could not use a bag at all. I know I don't like using the no bag theory because it is difficult, so I'll go spend that dollar on a reusable bag. But I ask you to go ahead and take the challenge. It's going to be a one-step process, and you can start small. If we start small and then we move our way up, it's not like it's going to have to be you go out and you spend $20 on reusable bags right now. Buy one bag here, another bag the next time, etc. It's going to be a really simple way that you can get it all into a more consolidated way so that we're not using so many plastic or even paper bags, and we can start consolidating things. Hopefully next time when you go to the store, you'll start thinking about it. Maybe we'll be able to start cleaning up the earth a little bit better. Thank you very much.